Extremely good half a footy coming up now, and Matty Dennis to go in the ruck up against James Hodder. McEwen is still not returned to the field. I can't see him anywhere on the ground. I think he is still on the bench at this stage, and we're not sure how much of him we'll see for the remainder of the afternoon. But as it sits now, it is 64 plays 31. Bundoora with a 33-point lead, and Dennis wins the first hit out into the path of Farrelly. Palazzolo hands and knees. Davies there as well, trying to work it out to the grandstand side of the ground, but Vasamarcus strips it away from him and kicks long into the path of Morris. He's able to pick it up. No, he's not quite. He was going to pick it up, but he left it for Lorenzini, and then Lorenzini swung a handball out to Fallon. Fallon into Davies, who slipped over and gave it back to Fallon under pressure from Delbridge, and now Fallon has Coleman here on the outer side. He has a man marking him in Palazzolo, but he's able to take a strong mark on the wing and then deliver into half forward, and the change has been made. Violato has gone from the back half into the forward half, and he's got a chance to roost a long ball towards the goals. It's moving out towards the right and fading for one behind. So, first score of the second half.
So just one behind added to that half-time score. 9-10, 64 Bundoora leading Northcote Park 4-8-32, so exactly doubling their score.
That 1 point actually stopped a run of 53 consecutive points against for Bundoora. They had it was 11-31, I believe, at one stage, and it's now they finally moved that score of 4-8-32. So the ball goes long. Deledio flies from the back, couldn't take the mark, and now Palazzolo's going to run into loose footy if it sits up for him. It doesn't quite. It just continues to evade him. Ends up out of bounds. Violato more than capable as a forward. We saw him kick 5 goals in round 1, and he certainly has been more than capable of kicking a goal when required. So the ball now to be thrown back into play. Hodder to do the ruck work against Dennis. Free kick's going to be paid, and it's going to go to Matty Dennis. He had the front place. Hodder just reaching around there, and now he kicks to Michael Farrelly. So prominent in the opening half, Farrelly. He gets the ball on now. Who's the next option? The long run, and now a kick into Mamone, who marked in front of Lorenzini. He's been good.
Mark.
We haven't seen as much as Lorenzini with the footy, but he's also been so dangerous around the goals. He's kicked one, but he looks so sharp around the face of goal, and Mamone, it favours him being a left footer here under the scoreboard, kicks it up. It's always going to fall short going into that breeze, and getting back and taking the relieving mark was Galafaro. No one really contesting him there, takes the easy chest mark.
Galafaro to McNeese, sorry Jordan, and the short ball from
they're missing
McNeese
targets.
Could not hit Lorenzini, out of bounds for yet another throw in. 64 plays 32. They must hit their targets out of the back half.
So 35 metres around from the Bundoora goal. It's to be thrown in by the boundary umpire. Cloak and Hodder doing the ruck work. Cloak gets it down. Lorenzini off his shin. It's just tapped out there from Aquilina off his boot, and there'll be another throw in this time. 15 metres around from the Bundoora goal inside their forward pocket. They lead by 32 points here, the Bulls, at Preston City Oval in this Division 1 preliminary final. The winner to take on Montmorency in the big one, the grand final next week. Ball thrown back in by the umpire. Cloak taps it down behind the pack. Dyson wheels around on the left. It's an up and under kick. Someone has to mark it here for Bundoora. It falls between Moorcroft and Donaldson. Getting it is Palazzolo. Comes back to Donaldson, who tries to clear the pack. It comes down to Vasamarcus. A handball off to Shaw on the outer side. Shaw wheels around on the right boot. Goes inside the forward line underneath it. Moorcroft came in from the side. Farrelly, in fact. But Davies gets it, and it goes Davies. Now he goes out to the side. He goes and finds Coleman. He shrugs off a man there. Coleman gets around him. Goes inside the forward line. Getting back there was Shelton all by himself. Violato. In fact, Coleman. It's gone
Shelton
for a goal.
let it go through for a goal.
That is... I'm shell-shocked. I have no idea what Shelton was doing. Coleman kicked it from about 55 metres, and Violato left it. Shelton left it as well. He was just trailing after it, and it just rolled in for a goal.
Well, I think he's expecting the bounce to hopefully come back his way. He waited, but it bounced the way he wouldn't have hoped for. It bounced right on its point, and from there really catapulted on. It was a much-needed goal. It was a great play there from Bronick Davies to extract the ball from the back half. Set up Coleman, who, as soon as he marked, he went, and he's playing a higher role, isn't he? He's taken 2 marks around that wing area. Coleman looks the most dangerous of the forwards, and it's back to a 4-goal ball game. 38 plays 64, Bulls in the lead. Davies again from the middle, threw it onto his left boot, missed Noldrit. Now it's a chance. It's a good contest there. De Bruin got in low and hard. Couldn't win the footy, but made a really good contest. Deledio wraps up his opponent in a tackle. 38 plays 24. We've played just 4 minutes in this third quarter.
Bronick Davies, you can see him just rising to the occasion. Got involved a couple of times here early in this third. And here is Shaw, actually Michael Mitchell coming away from the contest. His kick is straight to the boundary line. Will the umpire play deliberate? No, he said throw it in on the outer side.
I think we know which end is the goal scoring end.
Mm-hmm.
I think almost all goals have been scored towards the City end. And there's going to be a ball up now between wing and half forward for Northcote Park. Potter comes in, doesn't win the tap though, clearing it his car line towards the boundary line. It's going to beat Aquilina. There'll be another throw in, this time more central on the centre wing.
So 26-point ball game. Early stages here in the second half. And it will be Hodder going up against Dennis once more, and Dennis palms it down straight away into the path of Palazzolo, picks it up, gave a great little handball out to Dyson. Dyson goes long to Cloak over his head. Galifaro did well to affect the contest, and then he got it back from Donaldson, and then a left foot kick up to the wing. It's a 3-on-2. Davy's going to have to help out Naldrit, and he does, and he's got space to move and deliver inside 50. Pappas, he may have got a push from Glowry, but he gets back onto it, Pappas, and he's tackled well by Glowry, out of bounds, deep in the left forward pocket. Thought it might have been a push, but the umpire was in a better position than I was.
Davies having some start to this quarter, had plenty of the ball. Also Coleman, he looked dangerous as well. He's on the lead there. They opted not to go to him, but he's certainly running rings around Varsamarcus on the wing at the moment as Violato went up, tapped it straight down to O'Connell. His kick was partially smothered. Ball at ground level. Lots of balls around this one. It's going to be a high free kick. I reckon David Mitchell's going to get this one. In fact, it's not Mitchell, it's Carmuciano. Looks now, can he employ the switch? He's going to opt to go long down the far wing. Kicks looking for, he's looking for a number of players. Dale Bridge was on the lead. His own teammate interrupted him there. Dennis Handball was smothered. Coming through now, Noldrit. Can he pick it up? He can. He fumbles it, but it's again Davies in and under, and he wraps the ball up. We'll have a ball up. Half forward for the Cougars. They're trailing by 26 points. We've played 6 minutes in the third quarter.
Ruck's going at it again. Hodder won that one down. At ground level, Naldrit has given away a free kick against Michael Mitchell, and Michael Mitchell will now have the ball about 40 metres out from his defensive goal. It was a high tackle there, and now Mitchell using the ball nicely in the direction of Cloak. Couldn't quite take it over the back of the contest. They are moving the ball forward slowly, but Farrelly's going to run onto it.
Well done, Farrelly. He
gets a handball over to Papalucci. He has to move quickly. He's got Donaldson hot on his hammer. Farrelly gets it back, gives it over to Aquilina. Aquilina's got Dyson, who can kick a goal. He's 30 metres out. He decides to set it up for Varsamarcus. One-on-one with Coleman, and he takes a great mark, Varsamarcus. 15 metres out directly in front to put Bundoора's 10th goal on the board.
That's how you play into the win. They just ran it all the way up. Michael Farrelly's hard running. He's been a dominant player right throughout this game, and Dyson was interesting initially that he didn't opt to go for goal. He's got a thumping left foot kick, a centering ball, used the outside of his boot, and Varsamarcus was strong running, ran Coleman back the other way, and the two wingers now are going to share the... That's one of the more bizarre misses from about 15 metres out directly in front. He's not the fact that he missed, but it's how much he's missed by. Absolutely shanked it, just sneaks through for a point. The Bulls now leading 65-38.
Lorenzini thumps it straight up the guts, looking for Delidio in the middle of the ground. Umpire's blown the whistle. Just quickly back on that last bit of play. I think credit must go to Farrelly, who ran hard up the wing. But Northcote Park through the middle again, taking a bounce, running through is Carter, who delivers inside the forward 50, looking for a man on the lead, getting in front position though, Glowry, and he clears it out of defensive 50. It bounces once en route to the boundary line, out of bounds on the full, so it just pitched outside.
Neil Glowry's playing some kind of game on Mitch Pappas. I thought Pappas in the opening 10 minutes looked really dangerous, but Glowry just dominated that contest. And as I say that now, Pappas finds 5 yards on him and takes a stretching mark deep in the forward pocket. It would take his best effort from here, but it's always the commentator's curse, isn't it?
And once again, you can put that down to the right boot of Doug Morris. We said you need to get involved early here in the second half, and that was just a beautiful lace-out 60-metre low ball landing on the chest of Mitch Pappas, who comes in now.
Will not put it past him from this angle.
North goals 2 so far for the day. Needs this one for a little bit of confidence early in the second half. Right foot kick fading out to the right. One behind. He's got North 3, Pappas.
So it's 5-9-39 Northcote Park. Bundoora 9-11-65. The Cougars are kicking to the city end, which has been the scoring end throughout today's game. Keeping in mind, though, that they'll feel they're a real chance given Bundoora's fade-outs over the past 2 weeks. Marshall went short, found Varsamarcus. The hard running now coming over the top from Marlon Mitchell. Kick just gets to him, took a one-handed juggled mark, then ran around Harley short. Kicks it up to the wing. Favoured by it was Damasi, put one hand up, didn't haul it in, but did well at ground level, slapped it away, but Papaluca swooped. He was interrupted by McNeese. It's a tight situation. He hardly had a clean ball. McNeese tried to barge through, couldn't quite do so. Now it's Fallon. He was, we lost possession once in the tackle. McEwen now is wrapped up. Good to see him back out in the field. And we'll have a ball up inside the centre square. Still a good 90 metres out from Bundoora's goal. They're kicking with a 26-point advantage at the moment.
So 26 points up. Northcote Park cleared up to half forward. That was a good clearance there. A little handball over the top for O'Connell into space, but Marshall gets back and did really well defensively. A little handball. Lennon! A fantastic tackle, but it's been given in the back. It's been given in the back, so Bundoora will have it across half back. Michael Mitchell with it, and he's just going to clear it off to the near side. Finds Vasa Marcus all by himself standing at left half back. He goes to the kick up the line again, finds another free man. This is Braden Shaw, and he just goes back on his mark and decides to do a bit of decision making and goes over to Dyson, who makes the lead out into, well, between wing and half forward. Again, just slows it down.
They've done well to control the footy, haven't they, this quarter, Bundoora?
Just slowing down the pace here. Aquilina centres the ball. Almost a dangerous kick. Found Carline. He dropped it. Gets it back again. Wheels around one. Delivers into the pocket, making the lead. Well, it was a bit deep there. And it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in. Moorcroft not getting there early enough.
So 65 plays 39. Midway stages, early to midway stages here in the third term. Cloak has gone into the ruck to contend with McEwen, who's back on the ground, as Sam mentioned earlier. And Cloak wins that one down into the path of De Bruin, who is tackled straight away. Papalucha in tight. Donaldson at the bottom of the pack. Yet another stoppage here at half forward. And the umpire says it's mine, and he throws it up once more. McEwen and Cloak again. Cloak won it down. Out towards Aquilina. Aquilina and Fallon paddling it towards the boundary line, and yet another throw-in.
So about 45 metres around from the Bundoora goal. Cloak to do the ruck work in the forward line against McEwen. Ball thrown in. Front position, Cloak. Ball goes to ground. Morris is in there, wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire's given a free kick, and it will go to Northcote Park in their defensive 50. Fallon to have it across half back. Players making a couple of runs out on the far side. Fallon elects to go there. McNeese has to be strong here in the mark. It goes over the head of his target. Morris getting down on ground level. Bundoora gets the ball back though. This is Carline. He sweeps a handball over the top to Shaw, who goes back to David Mitchell in the centre square. Back to Michael Mitchell now. Carline, who goes up to the flank and finds Delbridge making a lead outside the 50 between centre wing and half forward here. And the umpire has called for a 50-metre penalty. A player was bumped off the ball and hit the ground, and Delbridge is going to come in now inside 50. And he'll have a shot at goal from about 40 metres out.
Well, that was from about 14 metres out. I would have thought on the edge of the goal score it's going to be in the end. Takes him right to the goal line, and again they're using that lead-up target of the man playing through Sean Lorenzini. We saw Mamone use so often. This time it was Dale Bridge on the lead, and from point-blank range you wouldn't imagine you have any issues from here. This would make it 2 in a row going into the slight breeze here, and Dale Bridge puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. He has his second, and Bundoora is looking well on its way to making this year's grand final. They're 10 goals, 11-71. Northcote Park, 5-9-39. Boys, it's been I guess for both sides, it's had a couple of consecutive weeks of finals, but it looks like it's taking a greater toll on Northcote Park at the moment.
Yes, 32-point lead here midway through the third quarter, and it is danger signs for Northcote Park. They need the next one, and they need a couple in a row just to swing the momentum back in their direction, because Bundoora are absolutely dominating things to start this third quarter. They had a little bit of run early on when they were able to move the ball inside forward 50, but since then it's been all Bundoora once again, as it was in the second quarter. And they need to start winning the ball out of the middle. Matty Dennis absolutely dominating from the stoppages. He's getting a bit of help from Dave Mitchell and Palazzolo and the like. But he really is putting on a show there in the middle of the ground, Matty Dennis. And we're just waiting for the ball to come back from the umpires. Score, we will reiterate, is 71 Bundoora, playing Northcote Park 39. 10-11-71 to 5-9-39. Midway through this third quarter here in the preliminary final of Division 1 NFL action in 2013. The umpire throws it up to restart things once more, and that is Dennis winning it down only as far as Davies, and then a high kick into the forward 50. Walsh, at the back. Good mark there by Carmuciano, and he can switch the play now, but he decides to go long down the line instead because he saw a free option in Vasa Marcus, and he's got space to run. He can give a handball over the top to Palazzolo, but he's turned the ball over and now going the other way, Northcote Park. But there has been another turnover, and now Palazzolo's got back onto the ball again, gives it over back to Vasa Marcus, who was the initial culprit of turning the ball over, and he kicked to half forward off a few hands. Delbridge was one of them. Damasi to Donaldson to Fallon backtracking through a wall of bulls. They've got nowhere to go. Fallon has to kick it now, just a grubber straight to Vasa Marcus. They've got the numbers here, the Bulls, if they can get it out. Donaldson trying to lock it in, and the whistle has gone, and it will be a free to Donaldson for too high.
So Donaldson will have it across centre half back, defensive side of the centre square.
Again, they just can't get their running game going at all, can they? Fallon was in so many minds when he had that ball. He was trying to cause a switch, had nothing going for him, tried to look inside again, he had no options, and he was very nearly run down. And now Harley short, kicks it to half forward. Violado's going to fly from 3 deep. Doing really well was Michael Mitchell to smack the ball out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. 60 metres out for Northcote Park's goal, kicking to the city end. We've played 14, nearly 15 minutes in this quarter, just 1 goal apiece, which is a massive win to Bundoora, given most goals have been kicked to the city end. Throw in now, did really well there was Walsh, but his kick was cut off. And I don't know, umpire's whistles. I don't know if it's paid this. So Carmuciano just played on straight away, kicked it up to half forward, attacking the footy. Damasi did really well to keep it in front, but he crashed into a teammate in Walsh. Farrelly took the ball. Now Marlon Mitchell. Kick inside is a good one. Had to be accurate, it was. And Shawmark gave it off to a running man in Vasa Marcus. Handball was in the direction of Marshall. Has to break through a Carter tackle. He just did it, but McLennan got the errant handball now. Broke a tackle, broke a second, and then handballed back in the middle. Wasn't his best effort. Fallon's under the pump. Ball's going to be turned over here in the middle of the ground. Another turnover handball. Fallon slaps it away. Now Joel Donaldson in the heart of Preston City Oval. Takes 1 bounce. Can have a second if he likes. Kicks it into the lead. Good kick.
Beautiful.
It was a spear. And Tim Walsh takes the mark inside attacking 50. He'll kick it from 45 metres out directly in front, and his side needs it, and he needs it for a bit of confidence as well.
Donaldson, McLennan and Walsh all involved in that passage of play. 3 names that were fairly quiet throughout the second quarter and must step up if Northcote are a chance to get back into this contest. Here's Timmy Walsh, and he comes now, kick from about 48. Right foot on its way. It might not make the distance, just carries there through the wind and goes through for 1 behind off to the left.
Hasn't been Tim Walsh's day today, has it? He's been really quiet, and that was his best opportunity. Goal just poked at it, minor score. 5-10-40, plays 10-11-71.
Carmuciano exits defensive 50, finds Dennis at half-back, doesn't take the mark. Ball off hands, hits the ground. McLennan running onto it at half-back, just keeps it in. Handball's off to Doug Morris, who looks for McEwen, but decides to go back further to McNeese, who squares it up now to half-forward. Violado out. He's 60 metres out from goal, directly in front. He's got a lead out of the goal square. Doesn't spot it up, though. Just slows it down here, Violado. Another lead from Coleman. Violado doesn't spot it, though. Decides to load up from outside 50. It's a long one. It's going to have the carry, but not the accuracy. Goes out for just 1 behind. Northcote Park trail by 30. It is 10-11-71 Bundoora. Northcote Park 5-11-41.
Bundoora doing really well to clog up that attacking 50 there. Violado had no short options to go to. So many... Was this a sea really of blue and white inside Northcote Park's attacking 50. 3-on-1 contest, but Matty Dennis takes a great mark. Completely outnumbered there. The kick was long and direct. 50 out from his own goal or defensive goal. He took on Violado a little too easily there and kicked wide, but doing really well to intercept there was Slater. Won it to ground level and then forced it out of bounds for a throw in.
Oh, Matty Dennis is just hobbling a little bit after that marking contest.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of a leg problem after that.
Fell on his ankle or his knee, I think, a bit heavy on the right-hand side. So he's just hobbling a bit as the ball's thrown back in now between wing and half forward for Northcote Park. It's tapped down. It's going to come down to Delidio, though, who gets it on the right boot. It's a high one. It's going to go to half forward. It'll bounce. No, Violado from the back doesn't take it. It falls to De Bruin now. De Bruin handball is inboard. Running inside the forward 50. Harley short loads up from outside. And it goes right across the face and, in fact, goes out of bounds on the full. And Bundoora will have it from the back.
They're peppering, but they just can't put it through the 2 big sticks. They've had the best of the past 5 minutes, but they've made no inroads at all on the scoreboard. As the short chip-in was in the direction of Dyson. I was going to say nearly kept it in. The umpire said he didn't. So it's a throw in here, 30 metres out from Northcote Park's goal. Must kick the next goal here. They need to be, you think, within 2 or 3 goals at 3/4 time to really mount any form of comeback. They're a long way back here, 5 goals behind. Violado went up 3rd man, but it fell to Brent Marshall. Again, going across the face of goal, but missing the target. This time it's Shelton up against Doug Morris. You'd think Morris having for pace, but Shelton's experience there, just tapping it out in front, happy to get the ball out of bounds. And there's a throw in 55 metres out from Northcote Park's goal on the far wing.
Just playing the percentages very nicely here, the Bulls. As the umpire readies himself to throw the ball back in on the outer side. We're at half forward for Northcote here. About 55 metres out this throw-in will take place, and it's going to be Cloak up against Hodder. Both McEwen and Dennis having a well-earned rest. Ball in the hands of Palazzolo, and then Hodder at ground level. Palazzolo over the top once more. Seems like the ball will be wrapped up, but Cloak gets his hands on it and tries to barge through one or two. And now just working really hard there with Carline. Got it to Ryan. Ryan's handball was smothered and allowed De Bruin in. And a high one to Donaldson. It will be a free kick to Northcote Park. Just coming through a little bit recklessly was the Bundoora player. I think it might have been Cloak who's just cleaned him up with his hip. So it will be short actually. I thought it may have been Donaldson, but it was short, and he delivers pretty well into Violado, who takes a strong mark 40 metres out.
That was a vice-like grip for Violado. Camusiano was really closing at him with some great speed up, and Violado just held his ground, took a really strong mark, and he must kick this. He's kicked two behinds for the turn. This is the easiest of his shots, it must be said. 40 metres out, really slight angle, and his side really needs this goal to go through to close the margin to 24 points.
So in he comes, Violado, the big V-train. Right foot kick on its way. Plenty of air in it. Looks like it might just be straight. And it is. And Northcote get the one that they need. It's back to 24 points.
Well, we said they'd had the best of the past 5 minutes. They hadn't made any inroads on the scoreboard. They have now. Violado kicking his first goal. And they just won't go away. You know that about any side for Northcote Park, is they won't go away. They came down from a really big deficit against Montmorency a couple of weeks back, and they've won some really tight games right throughout the year. They know how to win the close ones if it gets to that stage, and they'll feel if they can get within a couple more goals at three-quarter time, well, they'll back themselves to overrun the Bulls here, leading at the moment Bundoora 71-47. Cloak did some nice ruck work, flicked it at the back to Farrelly, who was wrapped up in a tackle. Now the ball comes out, Cloak tried to flick it on. It's going to be intercepted though. Kicking the ball away is Deledio. High up and under. Walsh is going to be underneath. In fact, it's O'Connell, outbodied by Glowry. Out the back now's a chance for Walsh. Takes a handball. Handball's off to O'Connell. Fumbled the ball in the pocket, and now the boundary line will beat him. Throw in 50 out from Northcote Park's goal. Bulls, though, have kicked 10 of the game's past 13 goals. Remembering Northcote Park started with the first 3 goals of this game.
So throwing it half forward for Northcote Park. Umpire throws in a bit short. Walsh and Cloak have to work for it. It goes back over the boundary line for a throw-in. Still on the same side of the ground, near side. Half forward for Northcote Park. Bundoora leading 71-47 here at Preston City Oval. Ball thrown back in. Walsh getting the tap down, but it goes straight to Farrelly, who clears it. That's out in the full as well. So there's going to be a free kick here to Will De Bruin.
Lower the
standing
eyes.
About 65 out from goal. He's got a few men central if he wants. He's going to play and go on around on the left. Kicks up to the hot spot. Violado flies, doesn't take it. Comes down to Deledio, bursting through. A little handball over the top, but getting back and spoiling over the boundary. Over the goal line. Looks like Carmusiano who's rushed it. So Northcote Park get one behind from all of that. 71 plays 48 in favour of Bundoora, and they play on straight away here from full back. This is Dyson, who's just taken 3 bounces out of defence and kicks a long one out to the outer side. Lorenzini's getting back, but a good mark. Papaluca on the outer side, centre wing. He's got Michael Ryan in short if he wants. Decides to go with the short one up the line. A contest provided. Noldrick out the back, takes it for Northcote Park. A little handball out wide, looking for Lorenzini, who just can't keep it in. Goes over for a boundary throw-in, centre wing outer side of the ground.
Seeing very little ultimately separating the sides right throughout, but that 10-minute patch in the end of the second quarter, particularly the last 5 minutes where they kicked 3 goals really late in the term, one on the half-time siren rather, has been the difference so far in this game. As well, Damasi tried to get it out, but it only went as far as Farrelly. He kicked it forward. A strong mark from behind by Dalbridge. They're away now through Ricky Dyson. Chipped it out into space, and Gary Moorcroft marks on the lead. Turns around straight away. Handballs onto Dyson, who's run on, and he kicks a really important goal in time on of the third quarter. Ricky Dyson's having a day out at Preston City Oval. He's been sensational. One of his best games as a Bull. And Bundoora now leads 11-11-77. Northcote Park 6-12-48.
I'd just about say Ricky Dyson's been best on ground, and a well-deserved goal there for Ricky. He's played very well throughout the midfield and across half-back, racking up possessions left, right and centre, and a goal there just to top off his day. And it's not even three-quarter time.
A couple of bombers working together there. Gary Moorcroft and Ricky Dyson with the little 1-2, and now we're back in the middle, and it's Cloak winning it down to Mitchell, who has received a free kick for a hold, and the ball will come back, no advantage. So Dave Mitchell to have it just defensive side of the centre. 77 plays 48. Next goal, all important. And
Cloak's making a short lead.
Dave Mitchell, and he goes short over the top, and another good mark taken there by Delbridge, just floating into some dangerous space, and he's got it 55 metres out, and he's got a man in a fair bit of space in the pocket, couldn't quite hit Braden Shaw for the hit up mark, and it was a good defensive effort by Fallon to work the ball out of bounds. There was an opportunity there for another scoring shot, but Delbridge just couldn't quite hit the target.
Fallon just came in from the side, punched it around Braden Shaw's body out of bounds for a throw in at half forward for Bundoora. Getting back there, Hodder to do the ruck work. McEwen still probably on the bench, given his ankle injury. Falls short, Hodder grabs it straight out of the ruck, slung in the tackle by Mamone. A little handball off to Delidio, handball's over the back of his head, but a free kick has been given. It will go to Delidio at right half back. He's looking central for a switch, but looks like he's going to go up the line now. Calls for Tim Walsh to make a lead up the line. Out the back there is Marshall, who goes for the fly, doesn't take it. A little handball on now. Northcote Park have plenty of run on. Handball off to Walsh, just misses the target. Walsh on hands and knees, harassed there by Shelton, and there'll be another ball up between wing and half forward for Bundoora.
29-point ball game. Cougars need a run on. As we've suggested a couple of times, they would want to be within 2 or 3 goals at three-quarter time to give themselves any chance against the win in the last quarter. And here is Varsamarcus going forward for the Bulls again, and almost a mark to Braden Shaw, about 30 metres out, but he's able to tap it towards Carline and Ryan, but it's going to be Northcote Park running out of defence through Nuldrit. Nuldrit a long kick up to half forward. Slater one-on-one with Marlon Mitchell, and Slater did well to paddle it towards his man in Walsh. Sorry, it was O'Connell rather, but he is ushered out of over the boundary by Glowry, and it will be a throw-in.
Nick Carter's got some heavy headgear on as well, got the bandages strapped around the jaw, so obviously he came off on the bench for a little while, copping a bit of a hit as the ball's now thrown back in at half forward for Northcote Park. Davies almost grabbed it out of the ruck, just missed it, putting on the afterburners. Coleman wheels around on the right, goes inside the forward 50. O'Connell takes it on the bounce, grabs it the second time around. He's harassed there by Glowry, and the kick goes out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Almost kicked it out of mid-air, then in the end he was dispossessed initially and then just got boot to ball. Late stages of the third term, Cougars must kick the next one to keep in this contest. The margin is out to 29 points. Cloak's doing some ruck work. Pappas flew from nowhere there for the ruck contest. He's given away a free kick. Advantage not played to Varsamarcus, so it goes back, and Cameron Cloak deep in defence to earn the free kick.
So Cloak in the heart of defence, just going up the ground a bit for a bit of a feel of the ball. He's got Delbridge short if he wants, but he's marked up heavily by Fallon. So Cloak decides to go to the flank. It's going to be a tight one. In fact, it's gone over the boundary line for out of bounds on the full. So a free kick to Nick Carter on the near side. Squares it up. He's got Davies sitting by himself. He's going to have to take a strong mark, Davies. He flies on the side. Ball off hands, hits the ground. A free kick has been paid. It will go to Bundoora. And Michael Ryan to have it at centre half back.
So Ryan, it was 2-on-1 contest. You got the high contact from Pappas. They've kicked it back to their defensive, or just outside their defensive goal square where Cloak marks. Kick just, well, it's actually, it hasn't found a teammate. The umpire said it was a touch, the ball touched the ground, but chipped on further afield. Marking it now, Carline. He chips over the top again and finds a teammate in Camusiano.
He's been good across half-back, Camusiano.
Very solid day today.
Just playing as the general across the back line.
Very good in the final against Heidelberg a couple of weeks ago also.
As he goes long down the line. It's going to be a turnover kick though. Getting across and taking the good mark was Damasi. Handball off to Carter. Can they get some run now? Carter drilling ball inside. O'Connell nearly had enough of it. He got one high, I reckon. He has. In fact, it's not O'Connell, it's Slater. And Kane Slater can go back now. He'll have to kick the best part of 45 metres. Would make it his side's third goal for the term and would cut the deficit to 23 points. In fact, he chips over the top. The dangerous one is a one-on-one contest. Violato against Camusiano. Again, Violato had the extra couple of centimetres of height, and that made the difference in the end. He'll go back and kick from 30 out directly in front. So
Violato to line up for his second goal of the day. Coming in now, he'll kick.
Second for the quarter.
Kick from 35 metres out would be a good effort from Violato. The whistle's gone. I think the man went over the mark. The ball pushed out to the right. It has been paid as well, so one behind there for Northcote Park. Scores now read 11-11, 77 Bundoora to 6-13, 49 Northcote Park. Being a bit inaccurate Northcote Park in this third quarter.
Well, that was a goal that needed to go through from point-blank range. Needed Violato to deliver more there. As Marshall goes short from the kick-out. Finds a teammate in Mitchell, who goes across the face to Cloak. Makes him work really hard. It's out of bounds on the full. In fact, it's gone that wide across, and the free kick goes at Northcote Park's way. And it's going to be Paddy O'Connell. He's a right footer, so he can run around here. open up the angle and potentially kick his second goal. Remember, he did kick a great goal to open up towards the start proceedings today from deep in the pocket on the other side. A chance now to bring the margin back to 22 points.
1 goal, 2 so far today. Sets it up in the breeze, wants it to swing back. It's not going to swing far enough. Out to the right for one behind. 1-3 for Paddy O'Connell this afternoon.
So they lead by 27, Bundoora. Bundoora from fullback, just waiting for the ball to come back over the fence. I think we've lost it here momentarily. Goal scorers for today, Bundoora with Cameron Cloak with 2, Braden Shaw with 2, Papaluka and Delbridge with 2 as well. And just the one multiple goal scorer for Northcote Park, Coden Coleman, has the 2 goals as well. The ball's come back over the fence. Marshall to have it at fullback for the Bulls. The huddle and break going on for Bundoora. The man comes out the near side. I think that's Mascara. Decides to chip it short into the pocket and finds Palazzolo. He's done a pretty good job today on Ronick Davies, must be said. In fact, it's Carmuciano who goes up now to Carlyon. So they're happy to just control the pace here until 3/4 time. Bundoora. A switch over to Mascara in the opposite pocket. He kicks up to a left half back and finds a man running onto it. A good mark taken there by Sal Mamone. He's got Marshall short if he wants, but Mamone's just going to go back into the pocket, and they're just going to run it out here till 3/4 time. Shelton with it in the back line.
So Ben Shelton deep in defence, currently standing outside the boundary line before he brings it back in. Shelton now long down the line. It's a big contest, it's going to fly. Lorenzini had 2 hands on it, ball hit the deck, and the tackle laid by Damasi on David Mitchell. Ball going nowhere. Cougars 50, Bulls 77, deep stages of the 3rd quarter. Bundoora certainly controlling this game since midway through the 2nd quarter. Hodder did well to get it down to Morris. He was wrapped up in a great tackle there. That was laid by Palazzolo. Didn't allow the ball to get out. Cougars did have numbers on the outside there as well if Morris had been able to get it out. Dennis just grabbed at the bucket, just stolen away by his fellow Rosbrook medalist in Davies, but he turned it straight over to Brett Marshall, chipped in short, found a teammate, that's Michael Ryan. And Ryan now Mitchell can bring it back out to Mitchell. Sits up in the air. Mitchell stands under it. Pappas couldn't get there in time. He'll go back to Shelton, and they are just winding down the clock, waiting for this 3/4 time siren. Shelton now marks inside defensive 50 once again.
That's what Michael Ryan short if he wants. He goes there, just in front of Ronick Davies. He takes the mark at left half back. Palazzolo making a lead. Vasa Marcus as well. Looks like he's going to go up the line here, Michael Ryan. Kicks long to a contest. This is Northcote Park's chance. Lorenzini in from the back. Hodder gets a spoil on. Meeting it there, Vasa Marcus and Mascara. Goes over the boundary line in front of our commentary position. And that'll be a ball up between wing and half forward.
Great effort there by Lorenzini. That ball was in Matty Dennis's domain. He was about to take another contested mark, but a good spoil there. But Dennis wins the hit out down from the throw-in, and Shaw is able to pick it up and give a handball back to Dennis. And Dennis feeds the ball to Vasa Marcus, who uses his left foot long to Delbridge and Lorenzini. Good effort again by Lorenzini. Great spoil, gets the ball out of bounds.
He just runs up and down the wing, doesn't he? Only a few moments ago he was at half forward providing a contest, and he's already gone 50 to 60 metres back at half back. He just runs hard all day.
Hodder slipped in the ruck contest. Dennis won it down to a vacant. Michael Mitchell kicks it into the pocket, and it was a grubber kick. It was touched off the boot, marked there by Mamone. Got it onto Delbridge, kicked inside, and the mark taken right on the siren though. It was by Shaw, but he played on by the time the siren had sounded. So it was a bit unfortunate there for Shaw. He had marked 30 metres out deep in the pocket at the Preston Market end of the ground. As it was, the siren sounded as he played on, so no score allowed there. And at 3/4 time, Bundoora is well in control. 11-11-77 Northcote Park, 6-14-50. The Cougars in that quarter there, they had some opportunities, but they just couldn't kick straight. They added for the term 2 goals 7, as opposed to Bundoora, who kicked just the 1 goal 1. 2 goals 1 in fact. And at 3/4 time, it's Bundoora with a commanding lead though. Boys, they have coughed up some pretty big margins in the past 2 weeks. I'm sure that's going to be part of Jason Heatley's address to his team for the final time today.
Most certainly, but is, as it says there, 21 points. Is that a bridge too far to cross in the last quarter against the wind in a high-intensity final where the pressure's been up all day?
In Preston City Oval, here on your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, the final term of the prelim final getting underway, and it's Dennis who wins the first tap down. Ronick Davies intercepts, Palazzolo applies pressure on him as well, busting through there, McNeese in the middle of the ground. He delivers up to half forward, making a lead. O'Connell, good spoil at the back though from Michael Mitchell, trickles towards the boundary line. Mitchell just keeps it in, rounds Pappas, and he sends a ball inboard to Palazzolo, who marks at half back. He's going to switch the play here to centre half back. finds Farrelly standing in the middle, who just drills it up the line. He goes up and finds Moorcroft on the lead. It bounces once off his chest, and a free kick has been paid for a push, and Moorcroft will line up from about 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle and kick his first goal of the day. He's been very quiet, Moorcroft.
Just chopped his arms there, Damasi. Moorcroft looking to go on with it immediately, but then thinking better of it, deciding to go back. So he's going to be kicking from about 52, but he decides to hand off to Dyson, a man with a very long kick. Oh, it's a left foot ball. It's long, it's swinging back, and it's home! Ricky Dyson may have just put Bundoora into the grand final. He gets his second of the day, a big long ball from 55. Sensational way to start the last quarter for the Bulls.
Well, that was a little too easy for Dyson to get around the back, get the easy handball and put through the long goal, and it was Doug Morris standing next to him initially. Morris, of course, with such a long foot himself, you would have thought that he would have been more mindful of the fact that Dyson might run around and trying to get the handball. Moorcroft, well, he's been quiet, but he has dished quite a few off, hasn't he? He's given 2 off to Shaw. One of those, of course, Shaw did miss, but that goal there could be decisive as the Bulls extend to 33 points. It's Davies from the midfield. His handball misses the target, and Dyson again throws it on the boot. He's been in the best 3 players today, no doubting that. Ricky Dyson, ball tumbling out of bounds. Throw in will occur 30 metres out from Bundoora's goal. They lead 12-11-83. Northcote Park 6-14-50.
33 points. This is last chance for the Cougars. If Northcote can't get the next goal, you would feel that this game is done and dusted. Bundoora just pressing here deep in their forward half. Ricky Dyson really dangerous around the footy in the early parts of this last quarter. Cloak winning it down towards Dyson, but Morris got there first. Right foot kick up towards O'Connell and Dennis. Dennis working hard at ground level to regain possession, and then Carmuciano may have been taken high, but wasn't paid. Slater handball to McLennan through traffic. McLennan got it to Lorenzini. He takes a bounce. They are taking the game on here, Northcote Park, which they have to. Long ball from Lorenzini deep in towards Coleman. Great one-on-one defence there at the back from Marlon Mitchell, and a clever little ball finds Palazzolo at half-back. Very measured through the back half, Bundoora.
Palazzolo on half-back just chips one over the top, finds Dyson, who takes it at the second bite of the cherry. Just before, that was the first time we've really seen Lorenzini go for a gallop up the wing. Dyson now kicks up to the wing, finds Delbridge, he can't take it, coming in Carter, gets a handball off, swung around in the tackle, Delbridge gets it back, rides the bump from Lorenzini and kicks up the line, but that's gone way out of bounds. Heads up, guys, that's coming out our way. And out of bounds on the full. Bundoora to have a free kick at centre wing.
He's had a good day, Delbridge. That was obviously not the highlight of his day, but he's been very solid inside. Gives him that hard edge across half forward. It's been used predominantly in past years across half back, but this year playing a lot higher up the ground. And now Joel Donaldson to bring the ball back into play. Had a very good day last week, Joel Donaldson, but a lot quieter today. Has most of those younger players in the team. Kicks it looking for Pappas, and well, he had just about enough of it. Handball across the face of goal by Shaw was smothered by Violado. Allowed Northcote Park to get inside. Now Violado gets on the end of the handball. Oh, gee, he handballed looking for Pappas. Needed to have the shot on goal. The handball eluded Pappas, and now it's going to be Matty Dennis to clear from the fence. Throws it on the right boot. Long kick up, looking for... Oh, gee, Donaldson takes a great mark. Not paid in the end. Umpire said he didn't take it to ground level. Lorenzini handball back to Donaldson, pushes off a would-be tackler, and now kicks the Cougars back inside 50. Violado gets a good run at it, couldn't get hands on it. It was Slater who ended up blocking his run at the ball, and now the ball's locked inside for a stoppage. Northcote Park's attacking in. They're 50 out from goal, but they trail by 33 points. 4 minutes into the final quarter.
Donaldson getting involved in the play and just setting himself up across half-back, intercepting anything that comes up along the wing. Dennis with the fly over the top, gets it off to a man in Carmuciano. His kick was smothered. Glary in the chase with it, with Davies harassing him as well. It goes outside 50 now, Mamone, standing at centre half-back. Coming through there, Delidio rides the bump, and he'll get a free kick as well, Delidio. So he'll have it at half-forward. He hands it off straight away to a man running by. Delivers inside the forward line. Hits the ground once, getting back there, Glary, who just clears out of 50. A long kick up to the middle of the ground. Fallon comes from behind, taps off the... oh, wow, Walsh just robbed it on the ground. Getting back there, Farrelly gets around his opponent, shrugs the tackle as well, and just hammers it up to half forward. Cloak standing by himself.
You'll see Mamone, surely.
Doesn't drop the mark, handballs it over to Aquilina, who goes inboard, inside the forward line, and taking a good mark on the lead out of the pocket was Moorcroft. It looks like he wants to wheel around, but he's just going to slow it down here.
Right throughout the day, they just won the contested footy, haven't they? When the ball's been in dispute, it's been the Bulls winning their fair share of the contest, and as such, even in that situation, they're 50-50 ball, hard one to win, but they're just able to edge the ball forward. Cloak in the end gets control of it, and now it's shot on goal for Moorcroft. Hasn't kicked one yet, and he has curled that one back magnificently.
A little bit of Gary Magic.
And Bundoora is marching on to the 2013 Division 1 Grand Final. They now move to 13 goals, 11 89. Gary Moorcroft kicks his first. Northcote Park way back in the distance now, 6-14-50, 39 points is a game high lead.
Well, that really all started from the blunder that Northcote Park made in the forward line. They handballed it one too many times, and Violato really should have just gone on and had the shot at goal, but decided to go back to Davies. And I think Donaldson's coming off here with a blood rule for Northcote Park. So the scores now read Bundoora 13-11-89, leading Northcote Park 6-14-50. Bundoora have already scored 2 goals since the 3/4 time break. Back in the middle of the ground, it is Dennis to do the ruck work against, looks like Tim Walsh has gone into the ruck as we wait for Donaldson's replacement to come back on. Now the play gets restarted. Ball thrown up in the middle. Dennis gets the tap down. Davies running by, doesn't get it. Dyson again wins it out of the midfield and clears up into the forward line to a contest at the back. Cloak couldn't take it. Ball off hands. Hits the ground. Galifaro tapping it to his advantage. Just needs it to set up for him. Goes again with the tap. It just trickles over the boundary line. Dyson can't keep it in. And there'll be a throw in at half forward for the Bulls.
Ricky Dyson has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to look at the replay during the week and have a look at his stats. I'm sure he'd be in the 30 pluses.
I've already named him as my Narellan Pools player of the day as Dennis comes out the back and taps it on. Carter intercepts though. Davies with a handball onto Delidio. He's caught in a tackle. Shaw gets it back for Bundoora. Wheels around and goes inside the forward line, making a lead out. It was Cloak. He just stopped over to Delbridge. A handball over the top to Moorcroft. Oh, fantastic tackle in the goal square.
I reckon it's still through.
Did he get a boot to it?
He did. Just dribbled off.
I think it was in the end.
It was either the shin or the underside of his sole that hit that one. I think it might have just been a graze from his studs.
A very faint touch there from Gary Moorcroft.
And just dribbled through for his second goal of the quarter. And he's probably had a better day than the 2 goals suggest. He's set up a couple for his teammates. He's been very, very important in this big lead now for the Bulls.
Well, had a better second half, I think.
I'm sure from here, Bundoora, they're well clear now. They're just about home, you'd think, from here. 45 points is too far now for Northcote Park to reach, but they'll want to go on with it. They want to take momentum now into the grand final.
Davey Mitchell out of the middle, gives it over to Braden Shaw. Northcote look completely shot at the moment. They have stopped running, and Sal Mamone has continued to run and deliver to Cameron Cloak, who's taken yet another mark inside 50.
It's too easy.
Galifaro just caught behind once again, and Cloak is making a mockery of this wonderful Northcote defence that we've been praising all year. He is lining up for now his 3rd goal of the afternoon.
I think Cloak's made a mockery of every defence this year. He's been fantastic right throughout the season, and again just showing why he's one of the best forwards in the league. He's going to line up for his 3rd goal of the day on a 45-degree angle. He'll kick from about 14 metres out. Cameron Cloak for his 3rd, and to send Bundoora into triple figures.
So in he comes now, Cameron Cloak. He's going to be kicking from about 38 metres when he puts boot to ball. Slow, methodical approach to the kick. Right foot on its way, fading to the left. 1 behind, 46-point margin.
Kicked off 2 steps.
So it's Bundoora 14-12-96, Northcote Park 6-14-50. The 2 sides who finished 1st and 2nd on the ladder look like going through to this year's Division 1 Grand Final. De Bruin goes sideways, spots up Violato. On the bounce it was. Violato spearing kick finds Slater. Kane Slater now, he can cut inside. They have to be adventurous from here. You'd have to think the shortest route to goal is the best one from here for Northcote Park. Time is not on their side. Nick Carter marks in the heart of Preston City Oval. Umpire tells him to go. Kick is smothered. Carter gets it back. He's been a classy player. He won't give up. Gives it off to Noldred. Kicks into space. No one really pushing out from it. Now it's going to be Pappas, but getting back to take the courageous mark was Braden Shaw, and he can now relieve his defensive 50. He's been spotted Vasamarcus.
Chips into Vasamarcus. A handball off.
Dyson.
Finds Dyson. He goes up to the flank. Sorry, this is Dyson now at half forward. He just takes it in front of Slater. Gets it on the right boot. Kicks into the pocket. Moorcroft making lead. It's Cloak, in fact. He drops it out of bounds for a throw in the pocket.
I know Cloak dropped that one, but that's the beauty of Moorcroft. Both of Dyson. Both sides of the body. He was hemmed up on the boundary there. He didn't have much room, but still able to kick it 30 metres forward on the right boot. It was a precision pass. In the end, Cloak wasn't just able to rein it in.
Some serious class on display today from Ricky Dyson as the Bulls are looking to move into the Div 1 Grand Final. Ball at ground level, Cloak won the hit out down, and a couple of players on top of the footy will have yet another stoppage deep inside the Bundoora forward 50. 46-point ball game currently, midway through the last quarter, and the umpire to throw it up once more. It will be Hodder, and Galifaro going 3rd man up, only as far as Farrelly. His kick was smothered out towards the boundary line. Chance for Northcote to exit their defence. Fallon, right foot kick, not going anywhere in particular for his teammates, but it was a good recovery there by Delidio to get a handball back to one of his teammates there in O'Connell, but the ball was forced out of bounds for a boundary throw, and good work by the Bundoora mids, and we'll have yet another throw in about 70 metres out from the Bulls' goal.
So between wing and half forward here for Bundoora, thrown in by the umpire. Hodder and Dennis to do the ruck work. Hodder gets the tap down, Carter taps it on, De Bruin caught around the collar of his shirt. Vasamarcus gets it back, goes off to Dave Mitchell, delivers inside the forward line. Papaluka was the target, getting in front. McNeese did well, gets it off to De Bruin now, who gets it on the right and finds a man standing at centre half back. That's Delidio, who's gone back. He sends one out wide, finds a man in Morris standing outside of the centre square and takes a mark in front of Carline, and he chips one over the top to Carter, who's kept on running. Standing at centre wing, goes for the short one inboard and finds Harley short. No pun intended, goes inside the forward line and finds a man on the lead, not taking the mark there. A push out, and there will be a free kick in the forward line, and that will go, I think, to Coden Coleman.
It's the first time in a long time that Northcote Park's been able to exact the switch and then be able to bring the ball inside from that Carter kick to short. We've seen them use that tactic so often through the final series, but today Bundoora has just been so good in their defensive end and force them out wide right throughout the day. As Coleman's kick on goal for his third goal, and he has kicked it. So Coden Coleman kicks one probably in consolation now as we move past the 11-minute mark of the final quarter. It's Northcote Park, 7 goals, 14-56. Bundoora still 40 points clear, 14-12-96. Coden Coleman remains Northcote Park's only multiple goal scorer, but that is his third for the day.
And Northcote will be very disappointed because they had a few of their really good players start this game in great fashion. Pappas, Fialato, McLennan, Lorenzini, McNeese, they were all up and about in the first quarter and have all just faded away in the second half as Dennis wins yet another hit out, only as far as Lorenzini. Eventually takes it cleanly, but he was wrapped up in a big tackle by Vasamarcus, and then towing it forward was Mitchell, and he's going to get back onto it here. He's got a bit of support in that man, Vasamarcus, who just paddled it to him. Vasamarcus, a long left foot kick to the goal square. Moorcroft. There has been a whistle that's gone, and it's going to be a free kick to... Is it Moorcroft or Cloak who's going to take it? I think it is Moorcroft. He may have copped a hold. Or no, in fact, it is going to be Cameron Cloak.
Still deciding here, the umpires and the Bundoora players who it's going to go to.
I know it is Moorcroft.
Moorcroft has it in his hands. Yeah, it will be Moorcroft.
Third time lucky. And Gary lining up for his third goal. Been pretty impressive this afternoon. Getting on the scoreboard late here, Gary Moorcroft, and to put it through from 15 metres out directly in front, send the Bulls into a grand final. Northcote will not get a chance to defend their premiership title against Monty next week. It will be the Bulls taking on Montmorency here at the Preston City Oval, and they have been sensational here in the second half.
Scores now read 15-12-102 Bundoora to Northcote Park, 7-14-56 Samuel Zito.
It's a funny game, isn't it, footy? Gary Moorcroft went goalless throughout the opening 3 quarters. We said his work rate was up, but he had been pretty quiet. Now he's kicked 3 goals in 7 minutes. It can change pretty quickly for a forward, and I'm sure if you said to Moorcroft at the start of the day you kick 3, he would have taken that quite happily when you're playing on the player of the class of a Ben McNeese. I know that matchup's swapped around a little bit of late, but Moorcroft's certainly getting on the end of a few in this final term. So
3 goals for Gary Moorcroft, doubles for Cloak, Dyson, Shaw, Papaluka and Delbridge. For Northcote Park, the only multiple goal scorer has been Coden Coleman. He has 3 for the day. 102 plays 56 here at Preston City Oval. Division 1 preliminary final. And back in the middle, Dennis and Hodder to do the ruck work, as they have done all day. McEwen off of that injury in the second term. Ball thrown up, Hodder taps it down. Almost wins the tap as well. Mascara taps it on. Hodder still in there. Hodder, a little tap out now, and finds De Bruin, who goes up to half forward. A bouncing one to Doug Morris. Handball's in ball to McLennan, running in on 50. A left foot shot at goal. It's going towards the goal square. Getting back there, Glary needs to see it over the goal line. He almost gets it back, Glary. The whistle has gone. Advantage paid. Bundoora to play it out of defence.
Marlon Mitchell was legs, so Michael Mitchell now running away with it off the left half back flank. He's got plenty of room to move. No Northcote players come to him, so Michael Mitchell with the opportunity to deliver to half forward. It's a one-on-one there, and winning it was Farrelly, and a long kick from he, only as far as Damasi there in the back pocket, but good effort by Aquilina to attempt to regain possession of the footy. Galifaro hands and knees, also Mamone now. Mamone got it back out to the man Farrelly, who got the last inside 50 entry, and Farrelly's snap has landed on the chest of Gary Moorcroft, who can kick his 4th goal in 10 minutes.
Moorcroft has been on fire in this last quarter. We saw nothing of him in the first half. We saw a bit of him in the third, and now he's going to line up for his 4th shot at goal, for his 4th goal in fact.
His 4th goal in 10 minutes will be. He kicked his first at the 5.5 minute mark, and now at the 15-minute mark, a chance for goal number 4, and to just put a bit of extra icing on an already sweet cake. Gary Moorcroft comes in and misses, so a bit of an anti-climax there for Moorcroft. Margin now 47 points. Bundoora 15-13, 103. Northcote Park 7-14-56. Boys, that 10-minute spell in the second quarter has really set up this victory, and Bundoora has been really relentless in this final half as well, denying Northcote Park with the breeze in the third, and now in the last quarter really going on with it as Lorenzini plays on from defence, kicks wide. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Davies did really well to pick it up. Could have given off to short, opted not to. Handball over the top to Noldred. He'll get it back here. Great running by the Northcote Park skipper Davies. He kicks inside, but his kick went well over the head of Donaldson. And now on the rebound, it's going to be Matthew Dennis. Dennis goes wide. It's a lovely kick to space where a mark's taken by David Mitchell. Mitchell now can go short down the line to Papaluka. Went longer still, looking for Cloak. McNeese did really well. It was courageous to fill the hole, and now Harley Short picks it up. He's going to be a good player in future years, Harley Short, no doubting that. Only a youngster, a big shepherd there coming from Paddy O'Connell, all fair. Lorenzini got the run off, gave it off to Hodder, kick really well, smothered by Farrelly. Hasn't he had a day out, Farrelly? He can get it on to Mascara, who was the one who rode that big bump before, and his kick is into space, and mark taken by Shaw. And Mascara looks a bit shaken up from that bump, looked all fair.
Could Clokey get the distance from here, you think? He's about 65 out.
I've seen him kick a goal from here in a semi-final against Heidelberg a couple of years back. And a chance now for Cameron Cloak. We're in the ideal spot to call this one through. He'll kick it from... Well, he has to kick it 60. The man on the mark's 55 out. Cloak fanting his chance.
Oh, yeah!
Well, he did get onto the top, but it was missing near side. So he had the journey, and he hit it with good connection. It just didn't have the accuracy. Out of bounds on the full, and the lead remains at 47 points.
It started straight, and then it just swung out a bit right at the end. But it looked pretty good for a little bit. Northcote Park in the back pocket. A little chip over the top. Finds McNeese. Standing hard up against the boundary line. Mamone manning the mark. He's got Noldred up along the line if he wants. Decides to go in short. It was almost like a bit of a choppy old kick, but Walsh takes the mark on the chest, drills it in broad, and finds a good kick in the middle. Fallon drops it initially, but gets around on the right boot, rounds his man in Aquilina and sends one inside the forward 50 on the lead. Coleman, who takes a good chest mark, and he's going to go back and line up for his fourth.
Well, obviously the sting out of this game, but one of their best build-ups for a long time. It was a great kick into the middle of the ground from Walsh, and then Fallon, despite dropping the mark, a lovely kick to the lead of Coleman, who wants to chip it off to Violado, and that ball went straight through his hands, but standing behind him was Will de Bruin. Snap on goal, goes right across the face, won't score. Brent Marshall doesn't get the kindness of bounces, but he's really quick to get around McLennan. Now it's Marshall, a long torpedo kick. He's going to get a downfield free kick. Hodder was standing under it to mark, but the free kick goes, would have gone to Marshall, who's pushed in the back after a kick. Now the Bulls moving to half forward through Cloak.
Hasn't that been a great one-on-one battle, Marshall versus McLennan? We thought McLennan was going to be so important for Northcote in that forward half, but Marshall has just shut him down as Cloak goes long towards Moorcroft. Over the back, the Pap, he runs in and he kicks a goal, and the Bulls, they are 53 points away from Northcote Park, and they are looking like a supreme footballing unit right now.
Well, they're taking plenty of confidence into next week. They're beating a really good football side here. Over the past 2 years, no side's really gotten close to Northcote Park on this ground. The closest was Montmorency, that 9-point game. I think their next closest win was over 4 goals against Bundoora last year. So they've really dismantled a top side, and what a way to go into a grand final. It shapes as a beauty next week, Montmorency versus Bundoora. Their 3 games this year have all been Game of the Year contenders for mine, and probably the grand final that with the top 2 sides, maybe the 2 most deserving here. It's been the case in all 3 divisions this year in the seniors, where the top 2 sides have gone on to play in the grand final.
So 109 plays 56 here at Preston City Oval. Bundoora leading comfortably. A tap down finds Bronick Davies in the midfield. He goes for the low right foot kick inside the forward line. Bounces once in front of Walsh, has to pick it up off the ground. Violado in there as well. A little kick off the ground finds Palazzolo. Getting in there, Delidio as well. Ball's going to be thrown up at half forward for Northcote Park. 16-13, 109. The Bundoora Bulls play Northcote Park. 7-14-56. Bundoora can taste the grand final here. Ball thrown up at half back. Vasa Marcus clears out of the pack towards an open wing on the outer side. Running onto it, Bronick Davies, not before Papaluka, but he leaves it behind. Getting back there is Harley Short, who leaves it behind as well. Papaluka still in there. Davies and Papaluka fighting for it. Papaluka at ground level. Kyle Lyons shrugs his man. A little handball inboard. Vasa Marcus taps it on again. De Bruin running onto it here. Hodder applies the shepherd. Handball back to Donaldson, who runs into 2 players, shrugs them both off and gets through Donaldson. A right foot kick inside the forward line, looking for Violado, who takes a mark at half forward. That was a good mark, Violado. He just stopped and waited and went over his opponent's head. And he's going to have a shot here. No, he's going to find a little man short, and he finds Pappas, who takes a mark directly in front. and he's 40 metres out from goal.
Well, he's had Neil Glowry as a blanket right throughout the afternoon, Pappas, but he's wearing one glove and he's had a second one in Neil Glowry hanging off him all day. He's found some space this time around, and he can go back and potentially kick his first goal of the afternoon. It has been a pretty quiet day for Mitch Pappas, and he can come back in and potentially trim the lead back to 47 points. Comes in now, gets inside the 50, shot on goal, looks really good, kicked right through that one. That's a great kick. The goal umpire did not move, and Mitchell Pappas kicks his first goal for the day. Really late, another blood rule as we wait for the ball to go back to the middle of the ground.
Is it a Bundoora player?
McLennan, I think it might be this time, or Marshall. They're both running to the interchange. And late in the final term, we've now entered time on. It's Northcote Park, 8:14:62. Bundoora, 16:13:109.
So not much time left here in this one. Goal scorers for Northcote Park, multiple goal scorer. Coleman, singles for Delidio, McLennan, O'Connell, Violato and Mitch Pappas. Multiple goal scorers for Bundoora. Moorcroft with 3. Papaluka with 3 and 2 for Delbridge, Shaw, Dyson and Cloak as the ball is back in the middle of the ground. Hodder takes it off the ground and a little kick out wide to half forward for Northcote Park. Running onto it here, Morris, who's just nudged off it, and David Mitchell handball back to Michael Ryan, who goes to the kick out wide, finds Vasa Marcus, who just goes over his head. He's got Dennis running past if he wants. A little kick finds Cloak up at half forward, who takes it and just wheels back around on his mark and looks for a man inboard. He goes to the long kick to the hot spot, making a lead out of the goal square. McNeese with a big fly, but gets a fist to it, and it just goes over the boundary line, and it will be a throw-in in the forward pocket for Bundoora.
Real confidence boost this one for Bundoora. You look around the ground, they've had winners everywhere, and the forward line, Cloak and Moorcroft, they've looked dangerous. The kick 5 between them, that's a win, isn't it? That we probably expected them, if Bundoora was to win, to have to kick probably 10 between them, but they've been good. They've dished off quite a couple as well, but for them to have 5 and the likes of Papaluka to stand up, Dyson's had a great game. He's kicked a couple as well. They've had a greater spread, and more so than we might have anticipated coming into this game, as Morris gets the ball from the clearance, handballs out to short. Could have given up a handball to Pappas, instead kicked around the body to Slater. He couldn't haul in the mark. It fell to Dyson, who's a thumping kick. That one's always missing near side off one step. Ricky Dyson, 16-14-110, plays 8-14-62.
And the efforts of Papalucha and Mamone, their offensive
So
efforts,
lively.
their offensive efforts have been noted. They've been fantastic around goals, being able to convert inside the forward 50. But when they haven't had the ball, they've been fantastic at stopping the defensive running backs from Northcote Park from moving effectively.
They've had 8 goal kickers, and 6 of those are multiple goal scorers. So look at Northcote Park, and they've had just the 6 goal kickers for the day, and only Coleman's been able to kick more than 1 goal. There's a big fly from the back there from Delidio on centre wing. He couldn't take the mark, and the ball dribbles out of bounds on the far side.
So 110 plays 64 here, a 48-point lead to the Bundoora Bulls. Full-time siren not long here at Preston City Oval. Bundoora almost in a grand final against Montmorency next week, of course, to be broadcast on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. Ball thrown back in. Dennis gets a big punch, but it falls straight down to Doug Morris of Northcote Park, who clears it up towards half forward, but getting back there, Shelton, who's had a solid day across half back, has the ball and he moves it inboard, finds a man standing in the middle of the ground, Farrelly, who's had a day out as well, standing in the very centre of Preston City Oval, delivers right inside the forward line. McNeese, it goes over his head, it goes past Moorcroft as well. You can run back onto it here, Moorcroft. Galifaro fumbles, Moorcroft at ground level, gets a handball back off to Shaw. Shaw has a snap at goal, and it's gone through. Shaw puts the icing on the cake, and he kicks his 3rd goal of the day.
Well, they're going to be a head-high tackle anyway to Moorcroft, and the umpire paid the advantage. Shaw kicked his 3rd. That's the 2nd that Moorcroft's given off to Shaw, so he might owe him a beer after the game. He's gotten his skipper onto the scoreboard a few times today. 17-14-116. Plays 8-14-62. Massive grand final coming up next week. Of course, 2 sides. Bundoora did break a long premiership drought 2 years ago when they defeated Heidelberg, but 2 sides who played second fiddle to Heidelberg for so long throughout the early part of throughout the 2000s, and a chance for one of those to get some premiership glory next week as the ball goes long inside Bundoora's forward line again. Slapping it away was Fallon to Short, who's won plenty of the footy in the final quarter. Short went wide looking for Carter. It fell short of him. Carline attacked the footy, did really well, tried to ride through a tackle, got the handball over the outside of Shaw. Now Papaluka, well, if he took it cleanly, he might have had his 4th. Still runs onto it, Papaluka. Weaves inside, gets on the left. That's a great goal, Papaluka.
What a star.
He's kicked 4, all of his goals to the city end this afternoon, and again, Bundoora are now out to a 10-goal lead. I don't think many people thought it was going to be this one-sided coming here today. they move along to 18 goals, 14, 122. Northcote Park, 8, 14, 62.
It's too easy for Papaluca. He just takes it at ground level. Such a low centre of gravity as well means he can change direction in an instant and just turn McNeese inside out. A great goal for Papaluca, the leading goal scorer on the ground with 4 for the day. Fantastic day for Papaluca, working at ground level in the forward line. Ball thrown up again in the middle. Walsh gets the tap over. Morris gets it off to Pappas, who just chips one over the top. Kick partially smothered by Farrelly. Walsh gets it back off to Davies now, who leaves it behind almost. It gets a handball over the top to Noldred, who takes it up high. And the umpire says there'll be a free kick. It will go to Noldred, standing in the middle of the ground, who just moves it out wide and finds a man on the outer side. Carter's got the headgear off. Free kick has been paid. Advantage. Play on Pappas. Oh, he went for a bounce, dropped it. Had plenty of time to recover though. Pops one over the top, going goal bound. And getting back there, Glary, who takes a mark on the last line. The behind wasn't paid, and Glary kicks up to the pocket, but getting in front there, Delidio for the second time today takes an intercept mark and can kick a goal from the pocket.
Well, it's the second time this year that Bundoora has been able to significantly turn things around against Northcote Park after a slow start. We saw it in round 18 when they were 35 points behind and won by 41, and now today they trailed early on in the game by 3 goals, wasn't it? 3 goals to zip, and now they're 10 goals clear as Delidio comes in, shot on goals, going right across the face, won't score. Violato, well, he juggled the mark over the line. The umpire said his first touch was over the line as it was, so out of bounds on the full handball now across the face of goal, and the Bulls are away through Varsamarcus. Lorenzini with the chase. Varsamarcus, that's a 55-metre kick. It's a precision.
Yeah, and a good mark from Dennis.
To Dennis, and now he handballs off to Carline, goes inside over the head there of Shaw. Maybe got one in the back. Moorcroft runs onto it at the back, turns the Massey inside out. Handball goes over the head of Papaluca. It's not a tall head to go over the top of Papaluca. He chips inside, and he's a lead-up target, Mamone. And those two small forwards have been so lively today. Oh, yeah. Mamone can go back and would kick. It'd only be his second goal, but his impact has been more profound than what's indicated on the scoreboard.
And Papaluca, I mean, he's a small man, but one of the smartest players on the ground as well. Just knows what to do with the footy. Plenty of experience on such a small-statured man as Mamone comes in. And kick from about 40 metres out, directly in front, Sal Mamone. 122 plays 62 here. Mamone to extend the lead. A left foot kick on the way. It looks pretty straight. Mamone's got his second, and Bundoora just counting down the minutes until they make the grand final.
I can't stress how important the ball use of McNeese, Lorenzini and De Bruin has been to Northcote Park's campaign in 2013. And as you were just saying there, Sam, the goals probably don't reflect the efforts of the small forwards of Bundoora today. They've been able to completely shut out the Northcote Park runners out of the back half, and that goes a long way to beating Northcote Park.
But when you see Lorenzini moved out of the back half of the ground in the final quarter to a win, that's a win in itself, isn't it, for Northcote Park, for Bundoora. Obviously they needed something, Northcote Park, to try and win the game, move him higher up the ground to get more of an impact, but he just controls that back line, and he hasn't been down in the final quarter. Bundoora's kicked 8 goals as a result, as Marshall gives away a free kick to Slater on centre wing.
Another high scoring game for Bundoora as well, 19 goals. A fantastic day out as Slater kicks inboard and finds a man in Walsh, who chips one up to centre half forward. Violato making a lead, but getting back Palazzolo, caught one across the head. Free kick has been paid to him. He's on the ground here, Palazzolo. Looks like he's okay though, still moving there. Just caught one across the head.
He'll be right, he's a tough nut.
He's very tough, and he's had a good day as well. I think he's kept Ronick Davies pretty quiet all day, so a good day out for Palazzolo, and Shelton has it at centre half back. Palazzolo is still on the ground here, but he'll be alright. Shelton, just, the umpire, I think, just telling him to go and straighten up a bit at centre half back. He's got Marshall short if he wants, just goes over his head and finds a man standing in the pocket. That's Marlon Mitchell. Got Carmucciano making a lead up on the line. Takes the mark there. Carmucciano at right half back. Double Bridge making a short one up on the wing.
There it is.
There's the final siren. And Bundoora are victors, 19-14, 128. To Northcote Park, 8-14, 62. Bundoora are into the grand final next week against Montmorency. And, well, Phil Plunkett into another grand final. What a fantastic coach he is.
Well, indeed he is. He, of course, won a couple of premierships with Heidelberg. His first year back in the Northern Football League, and he takes Bundoora into a grand final as the two sides now do the shaking of hands, and just seeing Jason Hinckley going out to Ricky Dice and shaking hands. would have preferred Ricky Dyson not to be out there, I'm sure, today. He had a really telling day, and I think his impact was particularly in the second quarter. His impact in the middle of the ground was profound when he just won so much of the ball from the clearance situation. And Bundoora now goes to its second grand final in 3 years. They will take on Montmorency. It's going to be a cracker, of course. They met just last week in the second semi-final, where Bundoora came from 30, or in fact Bundoora was 40 points ahead in the final quarter, and only to let it slip to Montmorency, who got home by a goal. So plenty of feeling between the sides. Of course, they played twice in the home and away year, and it was shared at 1 win apiece. Montmorency winning by 25 points the first time they met, and Bundoora winning by a similar margin in round 16. Last time, of course, as I said, Montmorency by a goal. So the meetings have all been pretty close, all been pretty high-scoring affairs as well. So we well could be in for a shootout next Saturday afternoon. But boys, Bundoora on the back of that performance is going to take great confidence and belief into that game, and you'd almost argue that it's even money going in.
Most definitely, and I think they won the game in the midfield in the second quarter, as you just alluded to, Sam, with Ricky Dyson and Mick Farrelly reading the taps of Matty Dennis and just dominating the clearances. Northcote have such a revered midfield. We speak of the likes of Bronick Davies and Doug Morris through the middle of the ground, Brock McLennan, who was used in more of a forwards role today, but we speak about the strong Northcote midfield. They were just chopped up after quarter time, and you feel like a big fella like Matty Dennis, if he can have that sort of impact next week. I know he's got Ryan Willits on him instead of the second ruckman from Northcote Park, which he had for most of the day today. He will have Ryan Willits, so that will be an amazing battle to witness there for whoever is coming down to watch what will be a fantastic game, as we've just alluded to a couple of times. Montmorency versus Bundoora in the Div 1 Grand Final next week.
A fantastic display from Bundoora. Again, if they can get some of their more experienced players, guys like Dyson and Farrelly, to step up next week, there's, they look favourites to win the grand final. Of course, the midfield of Montmorency has a lot of quality in there as well. Guys like Keenan and Jackson, or both Jackson boys even. You've got a lot of players in there who can do the job. So it's going to be a tough competition.
Donaldson.
Yeah, Niner across halfback, Harley Ryan across halfback. It's just two teams full of quality players, so it's going to be a tough competition next week, obviously being a grand final, but what a spectacle we're in for. As
the Northcote Park players get a very deserving round of applause from their adoring fans. A great win to the Bundoora Football Club. I think I said Northcote Park just a second ago, but Bundoora getting a wonderful round of applause from their adoring supporters. They were a big victor today, 19-14, 128 to Northcote Park, 8-14-62. We are going to go to a short break on the other side of this. We'll wrap up today's game. We'll also cast our eyes forward in 6 days' time, where it will be Bundoora taking on Montmorency for the Division 1 Premiership. You are listening to the NFL Match of the Day on your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.